Guys, Will here from The Real Shot. I'm filling in for Matt Trotz today. We're doing a ice report. It's almost the end of January now, and we're on Lake Winnebago on the west side at the Neenah Parks and Rec boat landing. There's a lot of ice shoves. We're seeing some gray spots around here right now. I'm going to pop some holes and see the ice thickness here, and then we're going to go around this little island here and then make our way out a little ways and see what the ice thickness is out there. Alright, so it seems like a decent thickness of ice right now. I'm going to measure it quick. We got about 8 inches, 8 1/4, and then about another ½ inch of slush. We're about 30 yards from shore right now. So right now we're on the island here, and there's a bunch of ice shoves right up against shoreline, so I don't think you're gonna be walking across the island to get over on the ice. And it looks like there was a lot of melted / open water that froze back over, so not the best looking conditions here. So I was just walking here. I felt pretty comfortable. Obviously there's a big gray spot over there, but as I was walking, my foot went down and I just brushed aside the snow, and there's open water right here. It's a big crack. So, and you can see with the kind of an indentation in the snow, the crack goes all the way to the dock there. So I would definitely stay away from any four-wheelers out here, even though we had 8 to 9 over there. I wouldn't take any four-wheelers out here. Sleds, I mean, I don't know if I'd do that either, but there's no shacks around here. There's nobody ice fishing out here as far as I can see. So I think this is gonna be it for this spot. This big crack here, I mean, if it opens up even more with this cold weather that we're getting though, it might freeze back over, and you might make this a safe way out to venture out. Not only is this a kind of an easy access spot and tons of parking, but I know for sturgeon spearing, this is a good spot for people to come out and get easy access to Winnebago. So we're at Gormans boat landing right now. It's partly snowing and it's partly sunny right now, and it's 26 degrees out. There does seem to be quite a bit of ice thickness. We haven't drilled any holes yet, but a lot of four-wheelers out here, snowmobiles, and even a side-by-side. So I'm gonna pop some holes quick and just see what the ice thickness actually is. All right, so we got 8 inches. Then we got about ½ inch of ice, slush ice. We're about 50 yards out right now. It's a good solid 8 inches. Doesn't look all that clear though. It's a little old looking ice. Doesn't look the best, but I mean, you saw it, four-wheelers are driving on it, so a lot of people out here already. We'll drill some more holes out here and just kind of gradually check the ice thickness for you. So right now I'm kind of looking at this big crack in the ice back here. It almost looks like shanties at first glance, but it's a huge crack that spans, I mean, as far as the eye can see until I can't see anymore, across almost in the middle of the lake. Right off of this point, it seems like 300, 400 yards out maybe, just from looking here, and that crack spans really far. And obviously with it having not been the best ice conditions this season, with that crack, unless it really freezes up, I don't know how many people are gonna drive over that with trucks. Now with four-wheelers, maybe that's a possibility, maybe it's not, but from here it doesn't look very good. So be aware of that if you're headed out here with any four-wheelers or snowmobiles. So right now behind us, we have all these anglers back here. They're about at least a quarter mile out, and they're on the edges of each point, and they're fishing deeper water just way out in the bay here, and they're kind of grouped up. So I wonder if they're on some sort of bite. I'm not exactly sure, but they're out there. So we're here at Asylum Bay boat launch right now. There's quite a few people out here. Most of the people, as you can see, are actually fishing on that shoreline away from the boat launch, which is interesting. I actually fished here last week and got skunked. So I didn't fish that shoreline over there, so maybe that's where all the fish are, but not sure. Otherwise, found this interesting. There's a big hole over there. It's marked off with some stakes. It looks like a 4-wheeler went through a week or two ago. I'm not sure, but it was marked off with 4 stakes. Bunch of big holes over there, and it's still gray ice and some slush. And last week it was completely open water, so be aware, not every spot you see is safe for 4-wheelers or snowmobiles. There's people that have been taking them out today, but not every spot is safe. Checked some spots there last week, and it was 5 or 6 inches in a few spots, and there's a lot of weeds, and with those weeds the ice isn't as thick and as strong, so that's part of the reason as well. So just be aware, be careful. We're here in Asylum Bay right now, and there are quite a few people out here. We just checked out the other side by the boat launch. There's a few people out here in the main lake though, and we're gonna check out the ice thickness here, kind of see what it is, because there's a lot less 4-wheelers and snowmobiles headed out this way right now. I know there was a few out there last weekend, but I did notice that looks like somebody went through weeks earlier. So we're at the lighthouse right now. We're gonna pop some holes and just check it out. And it's just whiteout conditions from the looks of it. It's cool when you can't even see the other side. So this one's actually 7.5 inches thick over here in Asylum Bay. We're about 50 yards out from shore right now, so we're gonna pop some more a little bit further out and just see if this ice is thicker or not. I did see some pressure cracks from, looks like some 4-wheelers are side by side. Over here on the other side, pretty slushy and a lot of water seeping through, so could be why it's a little bit thinner here, but we're gonna head out a little ways yet. All right, here we got 8.5 inches of ice. And now we're about 100, 150 yards out from shore. There is one guy behind us, and I think one way further out there, and then we got somebody way out in the main lake over there, right kind of by that crack that we saw earlier. That's spanning most of Lake Winnebago right now. But yeah, it's a little bit thicker as we get further from shore. Just be aware, once again, if you're using snowmobiles or 4-wheelers when you're out on the ice. Looks like we had some pressure cracks over there from 4-wheelers or something. And obviously there's one that went through on the other side where there was some thicker weeds, so just be aware. I think right now we're at probably 7-8 feet of water, so just be aware. I think a lot of these ice conditions are going to get a lot better from here on out. It's going to be cold this weekend, and it's just going to continue to be cold. And I think we're going to have a really good month of February for ice fishing. I think a lot of the ice will be pretty good and pretty safe. I think the biggest things are just those shorelines. All right, guys, we're at Black Wolf Point right now. A lot of 4-wheelers out here. That's all anybody's using except maybe 1 or 2 people. So everyone's using 4-wheelers. They're going way out as far as I can see right now with shanies, and looks like even a shack is out there. A lot of people out here. Ice must be really good. We'll check the ice thickness here in a second. We're about 100 yards from shore right now, so I'd say it's pretty good if people are driving that far out with 4-wheelers. All right, so we're sitting at 8 inches right now, and probably a good 6.5 inches of ice, and then the rest is actually just some slush ice melted on top. So not the best looking ice. Actually, some of the probably worst ones we've been on today. But everyone's driving 4-wheelers out here, so we're gonna head out even further and just see if maybe this is just one hole that's like this. So right now we're about 200-300 yards out from shore, and those guys there that we were just pointing at, I mean, I'm guessing that they're a few miles out at least. The guys are just disappearing into the white from the snow, but they're way out there right now, and a lot of people are out here. A lot of tip-ups are being set up actually, and everyone's out here with four-wheelers. So I mean, it looks good. Looks like the fishing's probably good. There are a few guys that just came in, but there are a lot of guys that just went out, so I don't know. Seems like it's good. Ice conditions are definitely good if you got four-wheelers going on them, right? So right now we're sitting at 7 inches of ice, and a lot of this is actually kind of some gray ice, and there's a lot of cracks in it. So it's not the best looking ice at all by any means. In fact, more north of here has been a lot better looking ice today. So not the best looking ice, but it's holding up for these guys on four-wheelers. Not saying we recommend it, but a lot of four-wheelers out here, so we could probably take some out. A lot of good ice throughout this rest of this week, next week, and maybe after that. Temperatures are saying that it's going to be in the teens, so low 20s and in the teens. So we're gonna have a lot of cold weather ahead, and overnight lows will probably be pretty low. Be great ice making weather. So a lot of these overnight lows are gonna be really cold, and it's gonna be some great ice making weather. Just be aware, be mindful of the conditions. Just because you see somebody out there on a four-wheeler or snowmobile doesn't necessarily mean it's safe. You saw earlier with that huge hole that looked like a four-wheeler, somebody fell through there. So just always be mindful and be aware, and let's hope this is a good 2023 ice season.